person. I really like to make things with things that already exist, as exemplified by our DIY instrument table. Like, I have a lot of clutter in my house, but I don't throw things away, but it's like if we can reclaim some of this stuff and make something even better out of it, that's kind of how Rosie Land came to be. It started off as just like a birthday party at a park, and I was like, well, I invite my friends who can perform, and then the people who can't perform can enjoy, you know? And then after volunteering at my community garden in my neighborhood, she actually passed along the grant to me. She was like, hey, you might be interested in doing I don't know, some kind of thing in a park. And I was like, okay, park event, music, community. And then I get the approval letter and they're like, yes, here, do it. And here we are doing it for the second time. It's such a vote of confidence that, you know, like we have the support. I think my friends will get the opportunity to try out sharing their craft, and then the people can come enjoy it, and hopefully we build something out of it, and hopefully encourage people to also like take music and arts into their own lives and create as well.
Yeah, we are all creative people, aren't we? And I'm hoping for some inspiration tonight too. Rosie, can you tell us a bit about, so you do work indoors and you do work outdoors, and when you're doing work outdoors like you are tonight, what is that, like how does that change the way you approach how you create work and how you present it?
Toronto is actually such a great city to be in the winter inside, but also summer outside. And because we have such a short summer, I think it was like we have to take advantage of this opportunity to enjoy the beautiful weather. And we've been having really nice days on Thursdays, so let's keep this going for the rest of this month. I love the idea of being in the open and appreciating what nature gives us. It also allows us to move more freely. I think being indoors is nice, but it's also got so much history and kind of restrictive, you know, it's like classic, like, you know, there's a time and place for that too. I think it's really cool to explore, you know, hey, like, we're already indoors for so much of our lives, and in this country, in this climate as well, like, why not take advantage of what Toronto has to offer in the parks? So thank you for making this happen.
Rosie, your work is also known for sort of breaking down that barrier between the performer and the audience. So at a traditional concert, you know, the audience is just watching and listening, but you do something different. You like to bring people into what you're doing and get them involved. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Okay, for sure. I think I was always inspired by my grandfather, actually. He did a lot of work in promoting classical music to the masses back in China as a conductor. And ever since my parents immigrated to Canada, they've continued his legacy in trying to break down barriers and making classical music more accessible to the general public. And I feel like it's such an amazing art. Like, a lot of art is really amazing, but we just don't really know how to get closer to it. And I find, like, I enjoy it. It's everything that I live and breathe, but how do we make it feel like, oh, this is actually really fun? So how do we break this down into something that it doesn't feel like you have to be paying a lot of money, you don't have to have a lot of, like, you know, resources or community, like it's just there, you know? Art is supposed to be easy, I think, and fun. And if we can kind of build, I think there will always be people reaching out farther and doing more crafty and things like creative pursuits, but I think there will always be a never-ending work with outreach. And so, yeah. Did that answer your question?
I have time for one more question. Yeah? Okay. So this is your neighborhood, and I'm curious, what does it mean for you to come and present here in your own neighborhood and, you know, as a Torontonian, as someone from North York?
Now, I don't live here, but I find I frequent this area more because of the amazing, I feel like I've used the word amazing like 20 times already today. But anyways, there's all these great restaurants and businesses, and I love supporting local. I think it adds also just like meeting your neighbors and finding how we all have more things in common. I think now is a time that we're finding a lot of divide, especially like we have internet, which means we get to be connected more with farther distances, relatives from other countries, but at the same time, in the like simultaneously, we've kind of lost touch with the people living just next door to us. So because I went to school here in this neighborhood at Earl Haig Secondary School and Claude Watson School for the Arts for 6 years of my formative life, and it actually has shaped me in such a big way. I feel so I don't know, inspired to want to use this and try and give back and inspire others as well to find the artist in them.
Perfect, thank you. Well, is everyone ready to actually see the show? Good. Rosie's going to bring some musicians out on stage with her, and then after the show, don't run away because she's going to be hosting a meet and greet with the other musicians so you can learn more about them and have a chance to meet them in person. So once again, this is Arts in the Parks and Rosieland.
Thank you so much. All right, let's get the show on the road. You are more than welcome to get closer. There's all this grass. There's some tic-tac-toe and dominoes to entice you to sit closer. But if you're comfortable far away, that's okay too. We won't bite. Last week we had an amazing launch, starting off with some music of Middle Ages and Renaissance music from Europe. Because I'm a classical trained musician, and when we learn history, we talk about Europe and Christianity and how the church has expanded. But I realized there's so much more styles and cultures that in music can be used to connect with us. And I thought, I actually don't know anything about my own heritage. My parents come from China, and my dad actually started one of the first Chinese ensembles in Vancouver in the 80s. And I wanted to see if I could kind of tie that in as well. And I've been learning so much. So today we're actually going to be going to China. Next week we're going to go to Brazil. And last week we're actually going to be combining a lot of different cultures that we see around Toronto. So without further ado, I'd love to introduce you guys to Spark Ensemble.